Welcome back to our third installment of the Lord of the Rings LCG solo playthrough series. Tonight we continue on with the Grey Havens playthrough, and we will be going over scenario Raid on the Grey Havens. The voyage back to the Grey Havens was long, but not nearly as perilous as the adventure to find the island from Calfon's dream. Despite the fleet's distance from familiar stars, without Corsairs hounding their every move, it was a relatively simple matter to head northeast until they reached the coast of Middle-earth, following it north to the Gulf of Lune. The heroes were constantly on the lookout for black sails, but none were seen along the journey. Finally, they reached the safety of the Grey Havens and were welcomed by the ringing of bells and elves singing over the gulf. On the evening of their arrival, they were brought to their meeting hall once more, and they celebrated, for their quest had been accomplished. The elves bid them tell of their journey, and the company obliged, although Calfon remained silent for much of the tale. Círdan took great interest in the company's story as they told of their voyage to find the island and of their exploration to the ancient ruins of Númenor. "I'm not sure I knew where to look," Calfon said of his discovery in the shrine in Morgoth. "'Twas as if I were remembering something from my past, from a long time ago." He reached into his doublet and pulled out the mysterious black key, which he'd placed on a thin chain around his neck, and set it onto the large table in the center of the council. "This strange key is all we found on the island. We thought that perhaps the wise elves of the Havens would know what significance it holds." The elves examined the key closely for some time, and Círdan stroked his beard in contemplation. Finally, Galdor, one of the wisest in Círdan's council, broke the silence. "It is surely Númenorian design, and yet there is something odd about it. I know not what lock it might open." Calfon sighed, feeling hopeless. Galdor handed the key to Círdan, and as soon as he took it in his hands, a shudder coursed through his body. "There is an unwholesome quality to this key," he said, turning the black key over in his hands and staring at it as though attempting to look through it. Before he could examine it further, they heard a commotion on the watchtowers. "The Sea Watchers!" Galdor shouted. The heroes rushed to the tall windows overlooking the gulf. To their dismay, they could see Corsair ships advancing from the west, their black sails difficult to see under the cover of night. Arrows red with fire began to fill the sky, and skiffs rushed towards the docks. The chamber erupted into chaos. "Corsairs! Corsairs! Raiders are upon us!" Elves and men shouted outside the tower, and the sounds of battle boomed like a storm around them. The smell of burning wood wafted in from outside. Círdan ordered Calfon and the other elves to make their way to safety before turning to their heroes and asking for assistance. "They're burning the ships in the harbor," he exclaimed, distraught. "We must prevent them from destroying the fleet." Nodding in agreement, the heroes drew their blades and ran to join the fray. So with this scenario, we're going to go over setup first, because truth be told, this scenario has taken me about 12 attempts already, and I've won one of them, and I cheated a little bit. So in order to avoid having to reshoot this, we're going to go over setup first, and then we will get on to the playthrough. So, the Corsairs assault. Raid on the Grey Havens. 1A. Setup. Set Captain Sahir and Nasari aside out of play. That is these two. Add the Havens Burn, the Dream Chaser. And one copy of Sahir's Ravager to the staging area. Shuffle the encounter deck and discard cards from the top of the encounter deck until X locations with the Aflame keyword are discarded, where X is the number of players in the game. Add each discarded Aflame location to the staging area, then shuffle the encounter discard pile back into the encounter deck. So we're going to grab this top card, and it is Pillage Ship. And it does not say when reveal it, it says to add it, so we're not going to do the when revealed effect. "1B. Corsairs are attacking the Grey Havens and burning the Elven fleet. You must defend the Havens from these fierce raiders and save as many ships as you can. Forced. At the end of the combat phase, deal X damage to the Aflame location in play with the lowest Aflame value. X is the number of Corsair enemies in play. The Haven's Burn is one of the cards that we added to the staging area. Forced. When a card is placed underneath the Haven's Burn, reveal the top card of the encounter deck. If there are X or more cards underneath the Haven's Burn, the Corsairs have destroyed the Elven fleet and the players lose the game. X is 3 more than the number of players in the game. So if 4 Elven fleet ships are destroyed, we lose. We have the Dream Chaser. It has 2 threat. It is Greyhaven's and ship. Aflame 12. Immune to player card effects. The players cannot travel to the Dream Chaser. When the Dream Chaser is placed underneath the Haven's Burn, the players lose the game. So we have to keep the Dream Chaser from fully engulfed in flames. We have Sahir's Ravager. He's 36 engagement, 3 threat, 4 attack, 3 defense, 5 health. Forced. After Sahir Ravager attacks, place 1 resource on it. Then deal X damage to the flame location in play with the lowest of flame value, where X is the number of resources on Sahir's Ravager. And lastly, we have Pillage Ship. From the setup, 2 threat, 4 progress tokens are needed. It is Greyhaven's and it is a ship, a flame 5. When revealed, either deal 3 damage to Pillage Ship or add the topmost enemy in the encounter discard pile to the staging area. A flame is a new keyword we're going to see in this playthrough. And all that really means is at the end of the round, the players must place 1 damage token on each Aflame location in the staging area. Many encounter cards can also cause damage tokens to be placed on Aflame locations. If at any point an Aflame location has damage tokens on it equal to its Aflame X value, it is destroyed and must be placed face down underneath the Haven's Burn objective card. If an Aflame location is explored, it is placed in the discard pile as normal, and all damage tokens on it are also discarded. For this scenario, I have had to switch it down to full-on easy mode. So I'm going to be giving heroes an extra resource at the beginning, and I have taken the Golden Ring cards out of the encounter deck. I've tried 13 times now playing on normal mode, and I can't do it. I've altered my deck, and I just can't seem to get a win. 3 heroes I will be using for tonight's mission are Aristor, who has 10 threat, 2 willpower, 2 attack, 2 defense, 4 health. He's a Noldor. Draw 3 additional cards at the beginning of the resource phase. At the end of the round, discard all cards in your hand. And he's lore. We've swapped out Galdor for Círdan. He's 12 threat, 4 willpower, 2 attack, 2 defense, 4 hit points. He's Noldor and noble. Draw 1 additional card at the beginning of the resource phase. Forced. After drawing cards at the beginning of the resource phase, choose and discard 1 of those cards. And he is Spirit. And lastly, we have Arwen. 9 threat, 3 willpower, 1 attack, 2 defense, 3 hit points. Noldor and noble. Action. Discard a card from your hand to add 1 resource to a Noldor's hero's resource pool or to Aragorn's resource pool. Limit once per round. And she is also Spirit. So with that, let's begin the playthrough. Okay, here we go. Let's see what I got in my hand. Okay. Alright, so at the start of the round, I need to give 1 resource to each hero. I need to draw 1 card per normal, 3 cards per Aristor, and then 1 card per Círdan. To discard a card per Círdan's ability, I will discard Song of Kings. I will discard a Narya using Arwen's ability to add a resource to Círdan. I will play Durin's Runes to draw 2 cards, then discard 1 card from your hand. Let's discard a Dwarven Tomb. We will play Narya onto Círdan. And then we will play, and Narya says, attached to Círdan the Shipwriter Gandalf, attached character gains a leadership resource icon. Action, exhaust Narya, an attached character, to choose and ready up to 2 allies. Each of those allies gets +1 attack and +1 defense until the end of the phase. So then I'm going to spend 3 resources from Círdan to play the Guardian of Rivendell. He is 3 cost, 1 willpower, 2 attack, 3 defense, 3 hit points. He's Noldor and Warrior. And as an additional cost to play Guardian of Rivendell from your hand, you must discard 2 cards from your hand. So I will discard the Will of the West, and let's do Raiment of War. Alright, we're going to spend 1 resource from a lore Airstore character to place Song of Battle onto Círdan. And Círdan now is Spirit, Leadership, and Tactics. And Círdan's going to spend 1 Tactics resource to put Rivendell Blade onto Guardian of Rivendell. And Rivendell Blade is an attachment that reads, attached to a Noldor or Sylvan character, restricted. When attached character attacks an enemy, that enemy gets -2 defense until the end of the phase. And then I'm going to discard both Cloak of Lorien and Reforged to put Elven Jeweler into play. For questing, I'm going to go questing with all my characters. So I'm at 2 + 4 is 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. We get Elven Caraval. It's a 3 threat. So right now in the staging area we have 2 + 3 is 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. To our 11 we make 1 progress. And now we are going to travel. We're going to travel to the Elven Caraval, because it says travel, each player must assign damage among characters he controls equal to the amount of damage on Elven Caraval. So we will travel there first while it has no damage on it, so that we can bypass that travel effect. I am not ready to bring down Sahir's Ravager yet from the staging area. I think I need maybe 2 more turns. So at the end, so no engagement checks. There's engagement checks, but he's at 36. I'm at 31. I'm not going to optionally engage him. So there's no combat. But at the end of the combat phase, we're going to deal 1 damage, because there's 1 Corsair enemy in play, to the Aflame location in play with the lowest Aflame value, which happens to be the Elven Caraval. It has a flame 4. So 1 damage goes on it. And now at the end of the round, we're going to deal 1 damage to each Aflame location in the staging area. So the Dream Chaser is going to get 1, and the Pillaged Ship is going to get 1 as well. I will refresh my characters, put resources on them, go up from 31 threat to 32, and then draw 5 cards. 1 normal, +3 for Airstore, +1 for Círdan. And I will have to discard 1 of these. Let's go ahead and discard a Test of Will. We are going to discard Elven Jeweler to add 1 to Aristor per Arwen's ability. We are going to spend 2 lore resources to put Imaldris Caregiver into play. And he is a 1 willpower, 0 attack, 1 defense, 2 hit points. He's a Noldor and healer. And as an action, discard a card from your hand to heal 1 damage on any character. Limit twice per round. I am going to spend 2 spirit resources to put Eregion Survivor into play. He is 1 willpower, 1 attack, 1 defense, 3 hit points. He's a Noldor. While you have no cards in your hand, Eregion Survivor gets +1 willpower, +1 attack, and +1 defense. So this might be the turn I actually go after Sahir's Ravager. We'll see what the encounter deck throws at us. Alright, so questing, we're going to send Aristor, Arwen, the Elven Jeweler, Imaldris, and Eregion Survivor. And that's a total of 2, plus 3 is 5, plus 1 is 6, 7, 8. And I'm going to play Elrond's Council to make that 9. Elrond's Council reads, action, if you control a unique Noldor character, give another character +1 willpower until the end of the phase and lower your threat by 3. So we'll move down from 32 to 29. And I'm at 9 willpower, 9 questing points. All right. We have a Corsair Arsonist, who's 2 threat, 2 attack, 1 defense, 3 hit points. When revealed, either deal 2 damage to an Aflame location in play, or search the encounter deck and discard pile for the Aflame location with the highest Aflame value and add it to the staging area. I don't want to do that. Let's add it to the pillage ship. So we go from 1 damage to 3, and it has a flame value of 5. Now, Corsair Arsonist is going to come down to me this turn. So I don't think I'm going to engage Sahir's Ravager this turn because I can't defeat him. I don't think. So we're just going to do Corsair Arsonist. Well, before that, we have 2 plus 3 is 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 compared to 9. So no progress is made, but no threat is gained as well. Corsair Arsonist is going to come down. It's going to get a shadow. And we're going to have the Guardian of Rivendell defend. So it's attacking for 2. There is a shadow. If attacking enemy is a raider, discard a card at random from your hand and place 1 resource on attacking enemy. So these white dice are going to represent resources for the enemies. So we'll put 1 resource on Corsair Arsonist. I do not have any cards in my hand. So Corsair Arsonist attacks for 2. Guardian of Rivendell defends for 3. I'm then going to exhaust Círdan and his magic ring, Narya. As an action, exhaust Narya and attach character to choose and ready up to 2 allies. So I'm going to ready Guardian of Rivendell and the Eregion Survivor. Each of those allies gets +1 attack and +1 defense until the end of the phase. So Guardian of Rivendell is going to get 2, +1 is 3. And then Eregion Survivor is 4, +1 is 5, plus its special ability is 6. So 6 minus 1 is 5. So I guess I did have enough to defeat Sahir's Ravager, so we'll bring him down next turn. So Corsair Arsonist has been destroyed. I did have to exhaust both of these characters to do that. Alright, at the end of the combat phase, we need to deal 1 damage, since there's 1 Corsair enemy into play. with the lowest flame value. So that goes on to the Elven Caraval. So now it has 2 damage on it. We will move to the end of the round. Refresh our characters. At the end of the round, staging area, I have to increase these damages. They're burning, so Dream Chaser now has 2 damage on it. Pillaged Ship has 4 of its possible 5. So that's not good. We will spend 1 resource. We will put 1 resource on our heroes. We will move up to 30 threat. And then we will draw 5 cards. As my card to discard, I will discard Elven Light. I will play Durin's Runes to draw 2 cards. And then discard a card from hand. I will discard Reforged for now. I will play another Durin's Runes to draw 2 cards. And I will discard an Elo here. As part of Arwen's special ability, I will discard Galdor to add 1 resource to Círdan. And then I will spend 3 spirit resources to put Ella here into play. I will use 1 resource, 1 lore resource to attach Song of Wisdom to Círdan, which gives him a lore resource icon. So now he has all 4 spheres. He's spirit, he's leadership, tactics, and lore. Alright, questing. We're going to go 2 plus 3 is 5. 6. Nope, not 6. 6. 7. 8. 9, 10. So we're questing for 10. Burning Piers. A flame 5. Burning Piers gets +1 threat for each damage on it. Forced, when Burning Piers is placed underneath the Haven's burn, deal 3 damage to the Dream Chaser. So we're questing for 10. The total threat in the staging area is 2, plus 3 is 5, 6, 7, 8. We make 2 progress on the Elven Caraval. I am going to optionally engage Sahir's Ravager. He's going to get a shadow card. We will move this down. I am going to choose to defend with Guardian of Rivendell, who's defending for 3. Sahir's Ravager is attacking for 4, plus Shadow. Add Burning Piers to the staging area. Ugh. Okay, so he's attacking for 4, minus 3 is 1 damage on Guardian Rivendell. I'm going to exhaust Círdan and Narya to ready Guardian of Rivendell, as well as I left a card. Okay, before I do that, I am going to action discard a card from your hand to heal 1 damage on any character. So I'm going to discard a card to heal 1 on Guardian. And now I'm going to exhaust Círdan and the Ring to ready Guardian of Rivendell and Eragian Survivor, who get +1 attack. So Guardian of Rivendell is attacking for 2, +1 due to the Ring is 3, +4 for Eragian, +1 for the Ring, that's 5. And then Eragian's special ability says while you have no cards in your hand, Eragian Survivor gets +1 willpower, attack, and defense. So I have a total of 6 that I'm exhausting to attack with. And additionally, when Guardian of Rivendell attacks, when an attached character attacks an enemy, that enemy gets -2 defense. Before that, Forced, after Sahir's Ravager attacks, place 1 resource icon on him, then deal X damage to the Aflame location in play with the lowest Aflame value, where X is the number of resources on Sahir's Ravager. Well, that's going to be Elven Caraval, and that's going to move up to 3 of possible 4 Aflame. And now I'm going to attack with my 6 attack, and then he gets -2 defense, so he has 1 defense. So 6 minus 1 is 5, so that will destroy Sahir's Ravager. It was very important that we did that in that correct order. Okay. At the end of the combat phase, we're going to deal damage to the lowest Aflame value equal to the number of Corsair enemies in play. Right now that's 0, so we don't have to worry about that. So we will go to the end of the round and refresh our characters. At the end of the round, we're going to add 1 damage to each Aflame location in the staging area. And then Pillaged Ship moves to 5, which burns it. So it's going to go behind the Haven's Burn. And remember, if we get 4 cards, the Elven ship has been destroyed and we lose the game. Or if the Dream Chaser gets destroyed. When a card is placed underneath the Haven's Burn, we have to reveal an additional card from the encounter deck. The fire spreads. When revealed, deal 1 damage to each Aflame location in play. So 4, 2, 2. And unfortunately, our Elven Caraval has moved to 4. So progress gets removed. It gets put in the back of the Haven's Burn. So that's halfway to losing. And now we have to draw another card. A Corsair Infiltrator. He's 2 threat, 3 attack, 3 defense, 2 hit points. Forced, when Corsair Infiltrator attacks, deal it 1 additional shadow card for each resource on it. Forced, after the engaged player collects resources at the beginning of the resource phase, that player moves 1 resource from one of his hero's pools to Corsair Infiltrator. Alright, we will move up to 31 threat. And we will start a new round. So 1, 1, 1, 1, 3, 5. We will discard Narya as per Círdan's special rule. I will discard 1, activating Arwen's special ability to put a resource on Círdan. I can't use Raiment of War because it counts as 2 restrict. So Raiment of War is an item, armor, weapon attached to a warrior character. Raiment of War counts as 2 restricted attachments. I was going to attach him to Guardian of Rivendell because he's my only warrior on the board, but it counts as 2 restricted, and this Rivendell blade is restricted as well, so I can't have 3. So that's a bummer. So I think I'm going to spend 1 resource from Arwen to play an Elven Light. So that comes back to my hand. Elven Light reads, Elven Light can only be played from your discard pile. Action, return Elven Light to your hand from your discard pile, then draw 1 card. I got a Silver Harp. Well, I really want Light of Valinor. So we're going to attach that using a spirit. So Light of Valinor reads, condition attached to a Noldor or Sylvan character. Attached hero does not exhaust to commit to a quest. I think we're going to quest hard this turn. I'm not too worried about the Corsair Infiltrator. Alright, questing We're going to go Aristor, Círdan, but he does not exhaust anymore to quest. Arwen, the Elven Jeweler, the Caregiver, Elohir, and Eragian Survivor. So right now we have 2 plus 4 is 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and we have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in the staging area. Alright, so 14. It's Pillaged Ship. When revealed, either deal 3 damage to Pillaged Ship or add the topmost enemy and then counter discard pile to the staging area. So we're going to deal 3 damage to the Pillaged Ship. And it's a total of 2 plus 1 is 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 to our 14. So we make 6 progress. So we're at 7 of 18. Oh, we don't make 6 progress because Burning Piers gets +1 threat for each damage token on it. So there's 2 damage on each of them, so it's 4 less threat progress points. That's a bummer. All right, so let's go to the Pillaged Ship because it has the most damage on it. So that's our traveling phase. Engagement checks. He's going to come down regardless. He's going to get a shadow. I'm going to defend with Guardian Rivendell, who's defending for 3. There is no shadow, so Corsair attacks for 3. Guardian defends for 3. And then I'm going to exhaust Círdan and the ring to ready both of these characters and give them +1 attack. So Guardian is attacking for 3. Elohir is 4, 5. He has -2 defense, so 5 minus 1 is 4. So the Corsair Infiltrator is destroyed. At the end of the combat phase, we're going to deal damage to ships with the lowest of flame value equal to the number of Corsair enemies. That's 0. And then at the end of the round, which it's about to become, we're going to add 1 damage to each of the locations in the staging area with the flame keyword. We will ready our characters. We'll move up to 32 threat. I need to quest hard here. Up, all my cards get discarded. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then 1 resource on each hero. I have to discard a card to start my turn. And then I'm going to discard to the sea to add a 1 resource to Círdan. And then I'm going to spend 1 resource to play Elven Light. Put that back into my hand and I get to draw a card. Not the card I was looking for, unfortunately. I'm going to spend 4 resources. 4 lore, so it's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. To put Eladan into play, who reads, while Elohir is in play, which he is, Eladan gets +2 attack response after you optionally engage an orc. Ready Eladan. And now that plays off of El over here. A response after you, while Eladan is in play, Elahir gets +2 defense. Response after you optionally engage an orc, which I don't believe there's any in this scenario. Ready Elahir. And then I'm going to play Cloak of Lorien on my Guardian of Rivendell. It says attach to a Noldor or Sylvan character, limit 1 per character. Attached character gets +1 defense, +2 instead if the active location has the forest trait. So Guardian is now defending for 4. I can't do anything with these cards, unfortunately. Alright, so questing. We're going to quest hard. Aristor is going to go for 2. Plus Círdan's 4, but he does not exhaust to do that, so it's 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, and yeah, we'll do 16. Mithlin Harbor gains Surge. Put to the torch. When revealed, each player must either deal 3 damage to a character he controls or to an inflamed location in play. So I'm going to deal 3 damage to a character I control. And that's going to be Aristor. I'm then going to discard 2 cards from my hand using the Caregiver's action. Discard a card from your hand to heal 1 damage on any character, limit twice per round. So he goes down back to 1. Total threat in the staging area is 2, 3. So it's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So I make 5 progress. 4 gets put onto Pillage Ship. 1 gets put on the main quest card, and I'm going to go to a Burning Piers. Okay, at the end of the combat phase, we're going to deal damage based off the number of Corsair enemies. There are none, so we'll move to the end of the round. So each flame location in play gets another one. So Burning Piers is almost destroyed. And then we're going to ready our characters. And I have to discard my cards. 1 resource to each character. Move up to 33. We're going to draw 5 cards. 1. We'll move him up here. Alright, so the card we're going to discard is going to be Light of Valinor. We're going to discard another Light of Valinor to add 1 resource to Círdan. We're going to spend 1 to play an Elven Light from our discard pile, add it to our hand, and draw a card. Do I have another Elven Light? I feel like I do. Checking my discard pile real quick. I do not. Alright, I'm going to spend 3 spirit resources to put Linder into play, who is 2 willpower, 1 attack, 2 defense, 2 hit points. He's a Noldor. Response after Linder enters play: if you have less than 3 cards in your hand, which I don't, draw until you have 3 cards in your hand. Okay. My cannot do anything else. So we're going to go questing hard again. There's no enemies in play. So 2 with Air Restore, 4 with Cure, that's 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. We're getting better. And then I'm going to go ahead and discard an Elven Light to trigger a Caregiver's ability action. Discard a card from your hand to heal 1 damage on a character. Limit twice per round. So we're at 18. White ship is 4 threat. To travel to it, I must search the encounter deck and discard pile for a Corsair enemy and add it to the staging area. Shuffle the encounter deck. Forced, when white ship is placed underneath the Haven's Burn, place 1 resource on each raider enemy in play. So we are questing for 18. We're at 2, 3, 4, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That's 6 more. 18 minus 12 is 6, so 3 gets put on the Burning Piers. This goes to the discard pile. 3 more progress gets put on the Corsair's Assault. So we're at 7 of 18, and we're definitely going to travel to the Burning Piers because that would burn up this turn at the end of the round. We're going to keep on clearing these ships while there's no enemies on the table. Alright, at the end of the combat phase, there's no enemies, Corsair enemies. We have to add +1 to the lowest flame value. There are no Corsair enemies, so that's null. At the end of the round, we have to add 1 damage to each flame location in the staging area, and we will go ahead and refresh our characters. We will add 1 resource to each hero, move up to from 33 to 34 threat, discard our cards, and draw 5 more cards. We're almost at the end of our deck. Okay, both of my Stewards of Gondor is in the bottom 10 cards of my deck. Alright, so immediately I have to discard a card, so it's going to be Steward of Gondor. I'm going to spend 2 resources to play Steward of Gondor onto Círdan. I'm going to exhaust that to put 2 resources on Círdan. I'm going to discard a card. Let's discard Forest Snare to add a resource to Círdan's pool. And we're going to spend 3 to put a Guardian of Rivendell into play. And then I can't do anything with this. Okay, so let's go questing hard. So Air Restore is 2, Círdan is 4, that's 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Let's do 18. All right. It's an Elven Wave Runner. So we're at 2, 3, plus 4 is 7, plus 3 is 10. So 10 minus 18 is 8. So 3 is going to go on Burning Piers. And 5 is going to go on the Corsair's Assault. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we're at 12 of the 18 that we need. I need to make some progress or the Dream Chaser is going to get burnt up. So the white ship says, search the encounter deck and discard pile for a Corsair enemy and add it to the staging area. Shuffle the encounter deck to travel here. So I am going to go ahead and do that because I have people ready. So let's and add it to the staging area. Okay. So we're going to do the Corsair Infiltrator. It's going to engage us. I'm going to defend with my Guardian of Rivendell. It's going to get a shadow, so it's attacking for 3. Guardian of Rivendell is 3 defense. It's another Corsair Infiltrator, so nothing happens. And then I'm going to exhaust Círdan and his ring to ready 2 allies. So it's going to be the Guardian of Rivendell and Eladon. And then I'm going to attack with this Guardian, which is 2, 4, 5 because of the ring, 6, ring 7, his brother 8, 9. So 9 minus 1 defense because of the Rivendell blade is more than enough to kill the Corsair Infiltrator. Alright, so no Corsair enemies, so don't have to add any damage to flame locations at the end of the round. This moves up 1 more damage. This moves up, this is 1 damage. Refresh characters. Discard our hand. Move up to 35 threat. Give each hero a resource. And draw 5 cards. 1. Well, that's all I have. So I'm going to have to discard a card. So I will discard Forest Snare. Because of Círdan's special ability. I'm going to exhaust Steward of Gondor to add 2 resources to Círdan. And then I'm going to play Reforged. Choose an attachment with a printed cost of X in any player's discard pile and play that attachment for no cost. The chosen attachment can belong to any sphere of influence. So I'm going to play Raiment of War for 2. Spending 2 spirit resources. And I'm going to attach that to Guardian of Rivendell. So that's that. I'm going to spend 2 more resources to put another Eregion Survivor into play. And then for my last action, I'm going to spend 1 more spirit resource to play the Will of the West. Choose a player, shuffle that player's discard pile back into his deck. Remove Will of the West from the game, which is perfect timing. I'm going to put the 2 Guardians right next to each other. Questing 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9. We'll leave 1. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. And there's currently 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's 14. Plus probably 2. That would be 12. And I need to put 12 on the main quest card. Do I want to do that this turn? I think I need to have... Let's have an Elven Jeweler ready just in case. I would like one more turn. I think I can afford it. You know what? Let's do an Arajian Survivor as well. So that goes down 2, so we're at 17. Put to the torch. When revealed, each player must either deal 3 damage to a character he controls or to an inflamed location in play. I will deal 3 damage to Aristor. And that was the put to the torch. So we're at 2, 3, 6 minus 17 is 11. So 6 is going to be put on the white ship. And then 5 more is going to be put on the Corsair's Assault, which is going to put us at 17 of the possible 18. And we will travel to the Wave Runner. And then it's going to be the end of the round. In the combat phase, there's no Corsair enemies, so nothing there. And then in the round, the Dream Chaser gets 1 more. Cutting it close here. Move up to 36 threat. Draw 5 cards. That Will of the West was perfect timing. I'm going to have to discard one of these cards. I will discard a Light of Valinor since I can't use it. It's a unique. And then I will discard... Oh, I didn't put resources on heroes. So 1, 3... Exhaust Steward of Gondor to add 2 resources to Círdan. I'll go ahead and play a Durin's Runes to draw 2 cards and then discard 1 card from my hand. I will discard Light of Valinor. I will discard Narya. Actually, I need healing. So I'm going to spend 2 resources of lore to put another caregiver into play. And I'm going to spend 1 lore resource from Círdan, because Círdan's now all 4 spheres, remember? And I'm going to put that on Guardian of Rivendell to give him another defense. So now he's defending for 3, 4, 5, and gets plus 2 hit points. And then I'm going to use Caregiver special ability to discard 2 cards to heal 2 points of damage. So Aristor goes to 1. We have a chance, people. We have a chance. Okay. So I need to make 4 progress. So Círdan is 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 10, 11, and let's say 4 comes out. 4, 5, 6, 7. That's 4. 3 would get put on there. So yeah, let's do that. It's an Umbar Raider. So the total threat in the staging area is 2, 3, 4, 5. And I said requesting for 2 plus 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So it's 5 points. Progress points. So 3 goes on here, and this says this goes in the victory display. Response: after Elven Wave Runner is added to the victory display, each player draws 1 card. Oh, I can't play that this turn, but I'm going to lose it next turn. All right, so all this progress gets taken down. And we move on to 2A. Sahir's advance, raid on the Grey Havens. A menacing ship leads the raiders, its charismatic captain bellowing orders to the Corsairs. Kill the defenders, he shouts, destroy their ships. When revealed, add Aya and Captain Sahir to the staging area. Enemy side face up. Each player reveals the top card of the encounter deck. Yeah, that's brutal. Another Umbar Raider. Place resources on both Nasari and Captain Sahir equal to the amount of damage on the Dream Chaser. So that's 8 resources on Nasari, and that's not good. Add 1 resource to each other Raider enemy in play. Okay. Umbar Raiders are going to get 1 too. 2B. Anytime players would place progress on this quest, remove an equal amount of damage from locations in play instead. Progress is placed on the active location before triggering this effect. Each Raider enemy revealed by the encounter deck enters play with 1 resource on it. If Captain Sahir is in this victory display and each location in play has no damage, the players win the game. And, okay, I will not forget the traveling phase, so I will travel to the Midland Harbor. And now I need to make some space because we have a lot of bad guys coming our way. Force Snare would have been perfect, except I can't play an attachment right now. So that's a bummer. I am going to discard a card, though, to heal Aristor. Alright, so all these people come down. And they each get a resource. They each get a shadow card. 1, 2, 3. All right. So she is swinging hard. So Nasari says she engages the last player, which is me. When Nasari engages you, discard each event in your hand, which I don't have any cards in my hand. Add 1 resource to Nasari for each event discarded this way. Force, when Nasari attacks or defends, she gets +1 and +1 attack and +1 defense for this attack for each resource on her. After this attack, discard 1 resource from her. Captain Sahir says he engages the first player. For each point of damage Captain Sahir would take, discard 1 resource from him and cancel that damage. Force, after Captain Sahir attacks, place 2 resource tokens on him. 4 instead if this attack destroys a character. Okay, so I would have to do, if I attacked with my Guardian of Rivendell, it would take away his 2 defense. So I would have to do 5 + 6 is 11, 12, 13, 14, and he's going to attack someone. But if I use him to defend, then he's only going to get +2. So I have to do 16 damage and then quest really hard next turn to take off 8 damage from the Dream Chaser. That is definitely doable. Alright, so Elo here is going to defend against this Umbar Raider who's attacking for 4. There's no shadow. So 4 minus 1 plus 2 defense because Eladan's in play is 3. So 1 defense. 1 damage. And then I have to move a resource from a person to Umbar Raider, so he's going to get tougher and tougher. Nasari, I'm going to use the Elven Jeweler. Sorry, Jeweler. And she's attacking for 2 + 6 is 8, 9, 10, 11. And it says if this attack destroys a character, deal 1 damage to each a flame location in play. So that's 1 more to the Dream Chaser, so that's 4. It did kill Elven Jeweler. She goes down 1 resource. I'm going to defend against Captain Sahir with my Guardian of Rivendell, who's blocking for 3, 4, 5. He's attacking for 6. No shadow, so 6 minus 5 is 1 damage. And then after he attacks, he adds 2, so it goes from 3 to 5, 2 resource icons, tokens. And then this guy, I'm going to leave undefended because he does not have a shadow, so he's attacking for 3. I will just let Erisdor eat that. And then I have to add a resource to him. Alright, so I am going to attack. Well, I'm going to exhaust Círdan and the ring to ready both the Guardian and Elohir, and they're going to get +1 attack. So he's at 2, 3, 4 because the Raiments of War, 5, 6, 7, 8 because I have no cards in my hand, 9, 10 because of the ring, 11, 12, 13 because Elohir's in play, 14. So that's 14 damage I can do. So we're gonna say 14 minus 0 defense because of my Rivendell blade. So it's 14 damage. So 11 of it gets taken off here, and then he takes 3 of the 5 damage I need to kill him. Oh, so close. Alright, so at the end of the round, each flame location in play gets +1. And now I need to ready up, draw 5 cards. Move this to 37. Give each hero a resource. I'm just going to go ahead and exhaust Steward of Gondor now because I know I'm going to use it. I need to discard one of these cards. I'm going to discard Narya. Okay, this is good. This is good. So I am going to play Reforged. To choose an attachment with a printed cost of X in any player's discard pile and play that attachment for no cost. The chosen attachment can belong to any sphere of influence. So I'm going to play Forest Snare for 3 spirit resources. So 1, 2, 3. And I'm going to play that on Nasari. And then this is gone. And then I'm going to use my Elven Caregiver to heal. What can I do this twice per round, and I have 2 of them, so I'm going to do 3. Do 1 and 2, and move this to 2. Okay. So questing, we need to get a lot of this off. So 2 plus 4 is 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So if it gets a 3 on there, that's 5. So 15 minus 5 would be 10. 2 of it would go on here, and 8 of it would go on there. Okay, I'm okay with that. So what did I say? We're at 2 plus 4 is 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. So 17. Alright, so I gotta shuffle my encounter deck. Come on, give me a location. Burning Piers, perfect. It is 1 threat, 3 progress, a flame 5. Burning Piers gets +1 threat for each damage on it. So we're at 2, 3. 3 minus 17 is 14. 2 of it's going to go on Mifflin Harbor, clearing that. And then the rest, 14, so it's 12. So it's going to remove 11 damage from the Dream Chaser. And I will go ahead and bring Burning Piers down. I'll travel to it. Alright, defense. I'm going to defend Guardian of Rivendell against, well, I'm jumping the gun here. Let's deal them shadows. So he's going to defend against him. So he's attacking for 3, 4, 5. So I'm going to defend against, with Guardian of Rivendell against this guy. He's attacking for 5. So 5 minus 3, 4 is 1. And then I have to add a resource to him. She does not attack. Captain Zahir, I'm going to block with Guardian of Rivendell, who's defending for 3, 4, 5. He's attacking for 6. No shadows, so 1 damage goes on Guardian of Rivendell. And then I add 2 resources to Captain Zahir. And then for Umbar Raider, he's attacking for 4. I am going to defend with El here, who has +2 defense. So he's attacking for 4. No shadow, so 4 minus 3 is 1. And then maybe that's 2. I think there's 2 resources on him. And then we have to add another resource, so that goes up to 3. And then I take 1 away from a hero. And that is it. So I have to do 4 damage to Captain Zahir. So I think I got that. So Círdan is going to exhaust himself in the ring to free up both Guardian of Rivendells. I'm going to hit with the Guardian of Rivendells for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that's 7 minus 0 defense because of -2. So that's 7 damage. So another 2. Take this off for 2, and then he moves up to 5. So I will add him to the victory display. There is no damage on any aflame locations. So we have won the scenario. If you don't want to know spoilers, you may turn it off now. The battle was hard fought, and several ships were lost in the flames, but with the heroes' assistance, the elves were able to turn the tide of the battle and repel the Corsairs. The Corsair leader, a hardened captain named Zahir, ordered a full retreat, and their ships fled quickly west out of the loom. The elves put out the remaining fires and took stock of what had been lost in the raid. Corsairs have never been seen this far north. What purpose did attacking the harbor serve? One of the heroes asked aloud. They had not the numbers to take the havens. There was a murmur of agreement at first, until one by one they realized their folly. The heroes thought about their voyage to the island, and how the Corsairs had seemed to know of their plans, pursuing them far into the Belagair. Lord Calphon, a voice among them shouted, and they ran back into the tall tower overlooking the gulf, weapons still drawn. With haste they flew up many flights of steps until finally they reached the quarters of Lord Calphon, bursting through the door. They were too late. The nobleman lay slain on the floor of his chambers, a pained expression upon his face. He had a deep wound in his chest, as though skewered by a sword. Several of Calphon's bodyguards, along with a few corsairs, were also killed in the struggle. The mysterious black key and the thin chain upon which it hung was missing. A three-pronged hook was latched to the base of one of the open windows, and a long rope trailed down to the sea below. "We have no time to lose," one of the heroes spoke after a moment of shock and mourning. "The Corsairs have taken the key. That is why they retreated. They've already accomplished their goal." The heroes gave their final regards to the nobleman from Dal Amroth and went with haste to the Dream Chaser. There, Círdan was assessing the damage done to his greatest work and to the other ships in the Elven fleet. When they gave him the news of Calphon's murder, he shook his head with dismay. "You must pursue them, as fast as the wind can take you. I give you the helm of the Dream Chaser once more. I'm sure Calphon's crew would give leave to let you captain his ships in his stead." His eyes shone bright as the stars above. "The road ahead will be uneasy, but that key is at the heart of things. That much is certain. Find it and discover its purpose." The heroes nodded and departed at once in search of the artifact and in revenge for Calphon. Nasai slid her knives back into her bandolier, disgruntled. They'd accomplished their goal, but Sahir had completely ignored her plan. She and a small team of her best raiders had taken a rowboat and snuck up to the Elven towers under the cover of the evening mist. With their skill and stealth, they should have been able to infiltrate the tower, subdue the Gondorian, and grab the artifact without notice. Instead, the moment they had reached the tower, they heard bells and the sounds of battle. With all of Mithlin alerted to their presence, Nasari's job had become much more difficult. The nobleman's bodyguards were well trained, and several of Nasari's raiders had been lost in the fray. In the end, they had been forced to slay the Gondorian in order to get the key. She'd hoped to capture the nobleman, to make it look like he had simply vanished, so they could have made a clean getaway. But thanks to Sahir's attack, that option had been impossible. As soon as the Stormcaller and its fleet were out of sight of the haven, she stormed into the captain's quarters, arms folded across her chest. "With all due respect, Captain, what happened out there? Attacking the havens was our plan of last resort. I thought we were going to sneak in and retrieve the artifact, not start a damn war." Captain Sahir was sitting in his chair, legs raised and crossed on his table. He looked exceedingly pleased with himself, smiling as he turned the black key over and over in his hand. "Nasare," he said casually, "we are Corsairs. We do not sneak about as thieves in the night. The sea is ours. Those who would share it must tremble to see our sails on the horizon. Captain, did you not choose me to be your first mate? If you were going to ignore my advice, the least you could have done was warn me. Now we have stirred the hornet's nest. We could have vanished in the night and been leagues from the havens before they even knew where the key was gone. Now they will surely pursue us with all the speed they could muster." Sahir's smiles diminished, and his eyes met Nasari's with a sinister glare. "My dear Nasari, are you afraid of them?" "Of course not, Captain," she said calmly, her eyes narrow. She questioned the wisdom of Sahir's plan, but she had no qualms about spilling blood, if it be her captain's will. "I just hope that your prize was worth the lives of the sailors we lost." She left with a curt nod, closing the door to Sahir's quarters behind him. The sailors on the deck looked to her for orders, as they often did when Sahir was preoccupied. Sea wind coursed through her thick hair, and she felt a moment's reprieve from strife and anger. "Well, what are you waiting for, you lousy lot?" she shouted to the crew hotly. "We've got ships to outrun. Full sail ahead."